Hi and welcome to Yoga with Tim. Welcome to Yin class. This class we're gonna hold some poses and just chill out and let your body relax. If you feel like you want a warm-up for this class, you can do a little mobility flow. I'll put a link to that video below. If you haven't done that one, you can add that right before if you got some more time. But otherwise, we're gonna go into these static poses and just kind of chill out. So let's begin with child's pose. So we're going to take this variation of child's pose called balasana with the knees together, the feet together, the arms back, and the head down. If your spine isn't so flexible and your head doesn't come to the ground, then you can slide something underneath your head, like a block or a blanket. Then come into extended child's pose, or if your knees bother you from being reversed like this, you could stand up onto your knees and take puppy dog pose instead. Otherwise, sit back on the heels, and if you have a block, you can take head support. But if it feels like it's pushing you out of the pose, don't use it. Come up onto your hands and your knees. Stand onto your knees and step your right foot out to the side. With your hands on your hips, lunge to the right of it until you feel a little bit of a stretch. And then lean out over your knee, slide your forearm to your knee. Take your left arm up, slide the hand behind the head, open up through your left side body. Come back up and change sides. Oh, it isn't like that. He's getting pissed. Thinks he's the only one that's allowed to bark around here. And come back up. Then bring your right leg forward for a low lunge. And then we're going to take a variation with the hands onto the inside of the foot. You could be flat on the floor or on your elbows or more propped upright, whatever feels like it gives you a better stretch. But we're going to turn onto the outside edge of the right foot and start to externally rotate the leg. So as we've been practicing throughout this course, we want to try to externally rotate and abduct the leg independent of the lumbar spine. So I still keep a little lift through my pelvic floor, the integrity of my lumbar as I let this leg open up, as opposed to just letting my body fall over to the side along with the leg. Bring the leg back to center and change sides. Hands go onto the inside of your foot. And then start to let the thigh externally rotate. Bring the knee back to center. Stretch back into child's pose. And come back up. Lie down onto your back. Supported bridge pose. Lift your hips, slide your block underneath your sacrum lower back. If you don't have a block, you can use a couple pillows or something, stack up some books, that works well. So the next two poses coupled together, this pose and the pose following, are supposed to help with emotional stability. Because of the position of the pelvis up above the heart, we're in a mild inversion. And this variation, this inversion, variation of Sarvangasana, is supposed to be a harmonizing and healing position for the body. Its effects on the body help to bring harmony and balance. So you might just notice as you're lying here, you can feel more of a sense of balance, calm, come over the body. So this is the pose that I use to introduce people to inverting. After this, I'll usually show introduction to shoulder stand and then headstand, handstands, etc. But just getting used to this feeling is where I usually start. Now, depending on the health of your lower back, you might be able to start to slide your right leg out along the floor. If you have enough opening in the front of the hip, it shouldn't start to pull on your lower back, so you keep the buttocks wheeled out of the low back. Maybe you can stretch the leg all the way straight. Maybe you can just get close to straight before you feel it start to pull. Hey bear. Good boy. Dang, it's mostly the psoas in there that's been tight. I thought it was the inner upper thigh. I think it's these are the interesting things that you observe in your body while you're stretching. Yeah, that's definitely psoas. Change sides. Now, if you feel it's pulling in your lower back, you don't have to stretch the leg out at all. You can just keep it bent the whole time. Just 30 more minutes on this block. No, just a few more breaths. Then rebend that leg. If your lower back was okay with that last one, the stretched out leg, you might try this next one. If it wasn't, you're just gonna lift one leg up. And then I'll let you know when to change legs. If you have the hamstring flexibility to, you can straighten the up leg. And then if it's okay on your lower back, you can bring both legs up. And this one's called Viparita Karani. It's just a little bit more bang for your buck than the last one, if you know what I'm talking about. So in this one, because you have the legs all the way up over the pelvis, you're getting a little more of that inverted benefit, a little more intensity there. It's not like the other one, you're not getting nothing, so you don't have to trip. Again, if you're feeling any issues in this one, just come down right away. If being in the back arch position on the block feels like it's been too much, you're just gonna lie flat and relax. You can also just do legs up the wall instead of this one, with your butt on the ground. Slowly, one leg at a time, lower your legs back down. Lift your buttock. Lower your hips down. Slide the prop out of the way. Open the arms to the side. Cross your right ankle over your left knee and slowly let your legs fall over to the left. Come back to center, change the cross, and take the legs over to the right. come back to center, knees to armpits, or happy baby. Now cross your right ankle over your left knee and gently hug it in. Change the cross. Then uncross and roll yourself up. And we're going to practice pigeon pose. So your left shin will come in front, right knee goes back. See if you can point the knee straight down and level your hips. You can stay in this upright variation, or you can lower down onto your elbows. Now make sure that you're not feeling pressure in the knee at all. If that's the case, I'm going to ask you to go back into that last pose and ankle to knee pose on your back and just work on your hip stretch there. But if this feels okay and it's not pressure on your knee, you're feeling in your hip instead, then you can hang out here for a minute with me. Change sides. Then bring your leg around. Sit with your legs wide apart. Bring your hands onto the insides of your legs. Practice your upright seat or start to fold forward. Something I like to do in forward bends is to let the forehead be supported. And you're gonna feel a really nice release in your back muscles when you do this. So if you're able to support the head, that's really nice. That's a really nice. You can experience the really nice. Kind of tells your body that you can relax. Something about the forehead. Then come back up and lie down onto your back. Take the soles of the feet together, the knees wide apart. And then to open up the muscles in your chest from all the pushings and planks and chaturangas and whatnots we've been doing, open up your arms like cactus arms. Let your body relax. So if you have the time to, I'm going to encourage you to stay here for 5 minutes, just relaxing in your final meditation. Thanks so much for joining me. Namaste.